Okay.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special call tonight with Team Eagles. As most of you know, we are Mick and Jenny Daly, National Marketing Directors in your support line. And this evening, we are speaking to you from the very beautiful Canyon de Chelly in Chinle, Arizona, which many of you may have never heard of. Some of you will have done. I hadn't until we arrived, I have to tell you. It is absolutely beautiful. We're here with Rachel and Richard. We have been hiking and sightseeing and having the most incredible time post-conference because, again, yes, it is a very special call tonight. Many of you who have joined us this evening also joined us in Phoenix for the big silver celebration, the Silver Jubilee, the 25th anniversary of the introduction of Juice Plus. And I think you'll all agree, we had the most incredible weekend. Oh my gosh, there is so much to share with you. If you were there, I know you all had a wonderful time. And if you weren't there, hopefully we can share a little bit of our enthusiasm with you this evening. We are going to be asking you to share, those of you who were there, to share a little bit about your experience, some highlights maybe. We're not going to ask you to give detail about what you learned because there will be a video that Kurt Beavers, our upline, is putting together for all of you to listen into and learn a lot of the stuff that we learned at conference. But we would love to hear, you know, how did it make you feel? Some of the emotion that we get from conference and what was so special to you? You know, what will you remember in weeks, in months ahead when you look back on this particular conference, because it really was an awesome experience. But before we get to that, oh, and by the way, because we are where we are, kind of in the middle of nowhere, we don't have a very stable internet connection, so you might lose us from time to time. I know Rachel is in the next room to us, so if you lose us, Rachel, you can take over. But before we do that, Mick, let us take a look at the contest. It is April the 30th. We have another 24 hours almost to finish this up, but let's take a look at what the leaderboard looks like right now.
Well, this is the leaderboard, and we have an outstanding leader on the leaderboard, Constanza and Ray Fischel, sponsored by Melinda Krenwelge, and followed up closely by Dr. Michelle Nasser, sponsored by Dorothy Scrutchin on Melinda Krenwelge's team. And all four of those wonderful folks are listed on the leaderboard. So looks like the month of April is going to be Team Krenwelge month, which is great. We love to share the joy around from team to team to team. So all of you who are listed there, well done. But as Jenny said, we still got another 22 hours or thereabouts to go. So it ain't over until it's over, right?
Absolutely. All right. Well, as I said, it's been the most incredible weekend. Mick and I have actually been here in Arizona now for nearly 2 weeks. You know, one of the wonderful things about the business that we all enjoy is the freedom that it gives us. So we came to Arizona several days before the conference, enjoyed a wonderful time. We rented an Airbnb. It looks as though we may well have brought our Airbnb hostess into the business. She came on Thursday night to the presentation and was extremely impressed. So we're excited about that. From there, we went to the Camelback Resort as members of the 39 Club. And you don't have to be 39 Club to join us there. You just have to make it a National Marketing Director and you will receive an invitation. That is a very special time. A lot of fun. It's all expenses paid. They even give us $200 to our room to spend however we choose. Mick climbed up the Camelback Mountain. Again, in 96 degrees, I have to say. I played in the tennis tournament, also in 96 degrees, played along with Jeff Roberti in one game. So we had a great time there. And from there, we headed to the Phoenix Convention Center. And again, the celebrations continued. So a number of you were there on Thursday evening for the huge kickoff there. So maybe somebody would like to share with us some takeaways, your enjoyment, your experience, your highlights.
Can we start with someone who was at the very first conference and looking down the list of everyone here? My goodness. Okay, I think Dr. Jamie, I know you were at the Thursday training. We just mentioned that. And then Deb. I think it might be Deb and Dr. Jamie. I'm not sure it was Dr. Jamie's first conference, but nevertheless. Deb, can I put you on the spot? Can you unmute yourself and can you just give us your impressions, or I can unmute you if I can find you. There you are. Unmute.
I can't find myself. Yeah, I didn't actually get there until Thursday night, but it was amazing. Way more than anything I've ever been to. I think I cried more all weekend than I've cried in years. Just watching other people, listening to their stories, and way more, I was already impressed with the company, but even more so now. So I'm just anxious to really get moving and get the business up and going.
So all in all, it was a good experience.
It was wonderful. And meeting all of you guys was wonderful.
Can I ask if there was any surprise? Did you, anything unexpected?
I think it was just bigger and better than I could have imagined. That was the biggest surprise to me.
And do you feel any different now after conference? Do you feel as though it's made a difference in what you want to achieve through this business?
Definitely. I mean, I've kind of always wanted to achieve bigger things, but mostly because I would like to be able to retire from the position that I have now. But I think I feel more supported and, just feel like I know that there's more out there to help me get going than I knew.
That's great to hear, Deb. And by the way, congratulations to you and everybody else who attended, because we shouldn't take that for granted. It takes some sacrifice. It takes some effort. It takes some commitment to be there. And oddly enough, when it's in your own hometown, sometimes it takes even bigger commitment because there's so many other things that can distract and get in the way. But you were there, so congratulations. Okay, let's just open it up to anybody who has anything to share. Experience, highlight, takeaway. Don't be shy, everybody.
All right, I'll go.
I can always rely on you, Nicole.
Unless you call someone out. Right. So this was my 5th conference. And by far, it's the one that I was the most dreading, and yet the one that I feel I was the most equipped for and that I felt the best at. I was dreading it because I knew there was family I had to juggle, and driving there and back and driving downtown I hate doing. And so, and then just not being able to, really have that separation where when you are out of town, you really immerse yourself. But I normally come home from conference and I'm just spent. And this time I was tired, but I felt like I took really good care of myself, and I feel great. I'm ready to go. I've gone through my notes. I'm ready to give the information to my team. And so I'm just super thankful. And my biggest excitement from the conference is the Freedom Revolution webpage, because it is going to be outstanding for getting people started. So I'm really, really excited to have NNDs teaching my team how to get started. So that's
I couldn't agree more. I'm excited too. And I commented to several people during the course of conference. Once again, the company has put me out of business in terms of websites. They've done it consistently for 20 years. I've always been a little bit ahead of them, but then they leapfrog me and I go, okay, I can't compete with that. That's way better than anything I could do. And I love that. Okay, somebody else.
This is Jason Moore. Can I say something?
Jason, you and Heather were at your first conference, so absolutely we need to hear from you.
So I just tell you, I didn't really have many expectations going in because I had no idea. I knew there was going to be thousands of people there. And like, is it Nikki? Nikki just said, Nicole said, it's sometimes harder to go when you're in town. And so we're in town and it was, I was trying to juggle work and life and do this, and we did it the best we could. But one of the things that I really took away from it was how much the company is behind all of us, and how it was reiterated over and over that, there's a process, follow the process, and look at all these successes that we've had. I don't know how many people went up there as NMD and said, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's really the thing that made me take a spark of fire or whatever from it. They can do it. I can do it. And seeing a couple guys up there on stage and me being another guy that, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And just it makes me more excited about it. And not 100% there. I'm totally behind the company and I'm getting behind the product. But I know I'll get there, and this lady to my right will bring me along totally. So,
well, I'm delighted that you were both there, because that means that neither of you have the challenge that a lot of folks have, having to come home and try to explain the experience to your other half, and that can be nigh impossible. And the fact that Jason and Heather, you were both there and you had a shared experience, and because you're both so different from each other, you could look at it from a different perspective, and you could kind of compare and say, well, I saw it this way, and Jason says, well, I saw it this way, and you're both right.
She totally completes me, and I'm so much the opposites in many ways of hers, but we have the same goals. And we have the same desires to get out of Juice Plus and to get out of business.
Very true. We understand that, Jason. And, we felt exactly the same way when we first ran across this company. And we also went to our first conference and we came away saying, hey, if they can do it, we can do it. Now, it wasn't always as easy as we thought it might be, but we stuck with it. And the rewards are just incredible. So delighted you were there.
And for those who don't know, Jason and I know that he and I are much alike. And Heather and Jenny know that they are very much alike.
We're the quieter ones, right?
I love the way Cheryl DeBow put it. She said, I'm reserved. I'm the more reserved one.
Yeah, I'm not reserved at all either.
and Norris Mick, in case you hadn't noticed.
Me?
I noticed, yep.
I can be a wee bit reserved. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, we can be if we need to, right? But we don't ever need to be. Not very often.
Okay. Who else wants to volunteer? Anybody? Laura Scalva, you're not muted, so I think you just volunteered.
Well, I think Laura is very special because Laura was there. This is a team effort on Laura's part, a family effort, because we have the three sisters. We have Laura and Bridget and Meg, and I don't know exactly who's with us tonight, but what a special thing to be able to do, to build a business together with your sisters.
Laura just hit herself.
I know, she's gone.
Oh, oh well. Come on then, somebody else.
I can go. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, Brianna. Ooh,
I'm
look
outside, obviously, my dog. I'm trying to get him to play, but I would say every time I just like that I meet more Team Eagles or just other people to network with. I mean, I'm always energized by everything that Juice Plus does, and like Nicole said, totally in love with the Freedom Revolution. But most I just like the networking and getting to know other people and kind of finding some more accountability partners.
Good.
So you found even more accountability partners this time?
Absolutely. You know me. All
Absolutely.
those people to keep me in line.
You collect them like people collect stamps.
Yes.
That's a really good thing, by the way.
Yeah.
So have you had to come back and try and explain to Brandon what he missed?
No, he knows he missed it. And if he had more time off with work, he'd be there, but he doesn't quite have that yet.
Yeah. Well, he's been there, done that already, so he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's been to 2 or so. So
Yeah, that's right. You know, the first is
they're
special.
great.
The first is special.
Yeah, and it's easy
special.
when they come with, because then they know.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jason and Heather. Thanks, Brianna. Good job.
Yeah.
Collect accountability partners. That's a really good one. I love that. Somebody else, come on. Juanita, you were there. Alice, you were there. Melinda, Dr. Janet. Yes, come on, Jan. Speak up, girl. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Janet, unmute yourself. You're still muted, Janet. Do I have to do it for you? Seriously? Hold on. Janet's trying to talk and she's still muted. All right.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now.
Yep.
You're unmuted.
You weren't, but I wasn't unmuting myself because my telephone has just rung with my brand new rep calling me.
Look at you.
So I will call her immediately after this. She wants to get her orders in so that she can be paid on the 10th of May, which is rather nice.
Excellent.
It was I mean, I don't know how many conferences I've been to, or we've been to together. Probably at least 20 if it's been 10 years, 12 years in the business. But there were 26 NMDs. And just a couple of the takeaways from the NMD speeches hit me yesterday and hit me today. Get out of your way. And I got out of my way today, completely. And I got myself a new rep, a brand new person I'd never met before. I just asked questions. I listened so clearly to what everyone was saying. I mean, these are my notes on every single one of the NMDs. Those speeches were fantastic of how they got there. Their ups, their downs, their vulnerabilities. I just asked question after question of her, got to know who she is. Wonderful, wonderful, I say young woman because I'm in my 60s now and she's in her 30s. But absolutely exactly what these girls espouse. So I'm very, very excited about that. Clear vision of what others can follow. And I don't think my vision has been clear enough for myself. So hopefully my own vision in being clearer is going to help me to help people follow me. And very much the question of, are you somebody that you would follow? It's come up in that fantastic networking book that you gave us, Rach. I think I'm 3/4 of the way through that. Garth kept on saying, why are you crossing out all the lines? I said, I'm not, I'm just highlighting everything. So that book is going to be fantastic for me as well. And that was also part of the conference experience, getting the book. And then, of course, having a brand new team there and having a team with us. Laurie, Alicia, Michelle, it was wonderful having them. And obviously having Garth, my hiking partner, who's on crutches at the moment, but not for long, I don't think. So it was an amazing conference. And I mean, there's so many things, so many takeaways. I think I'd just like to make a couple of comments from the Stephen Ritz talk. I will not accept what I cannot change. I will change everything I can. And that, his commentary, he shouts and he jumps and he's up and he's down, but I heard some really beautiful takeaways. Kids will never be well read if they aren't well fed. And that's just, he espouses that so much, and we can too with the Children's Health Study. It's easier to raise healthy children than fix broken men. So all of that, I mean, his commentary just gives me goosebumps, cold turkey bumps, in fact, much bigger. And when we teach kids about nature, we teach them to nurture. And I just love that one as a takeaway. So, yeah, it was a very, very exciting, inspiring, profound conference for me.
Thank you, Dr. Janet. Garth, anything to add?
Well, Mick, going to the conferences, what came through to me very, very strongly this time was the importance of building relationships. And it's not just a one-off event, it's a process of building and getting to know a person, developing a relationship which can eventually lead to having them come on board. And then I also realized it's just as important as well to maintain and build relationships with your team. And that was a strong theme that came through to me with all of the discussions that were held. And the other thing, Mick, was the tremendous ramp up that Juice Plus has now done with the resources that are being made available. Those video clips and the Juice Plus Live and all of those fantastic resources that have been put in front of us. It's going to be a kind of a challenge now to move forward and find ways of harnessing those resources and plugging them into your daily method of operation. Or it's going to challenge everybody, I think, because there's such a lot out there, and there's a danger that you could blast your potential customer with too much. And so that's what I'm thinking through now, and trying to think of how to make use of those resources in a way that builds a relationship and doesn't blast them with too much stuff,
That's very profound, Garth. That really is. That's something we all need to take to heart. There was a focus on simplicity, and yet I'm sure some folks like Deb and Jason and Heather and others who were there for the first time might have said, "Are you kidding? Simplicity?" And so one thought I already have is that as we explore the freedomrevolution.com website, and we'll explore it individually, and I think we'll explore it as a team on some future Monday night Zooms, that we explore it with the intent of being tour guides for prospects and for new people. That we become tour guides, guiding people through the freedomrevolution.com website, so that new people and prospects aren't confused, aren't overwhelmed, and can see clearly what it is we want them to see. So yeah, I take your point, absolutely.
Because I think over the years, I know I have fallen foul of this problem of tending to oversell. You get really enthusiastic about Juice Plus, and your customer might think that this is the answer to their prayers, which it is, of course, but they look at it as a quick fix or something that's going to be more than it really is. And they're impatient, and they don't see it as happening quick enough, in the process of healing or the process of improving health. And so there's that delicate balance of getting the understanding of what Juice Plus can do and how long it would take, and the fact that sometimes you just don't feel any different, but when you look back after a year or two, you realize the difference,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's going to be a new learning for me.
So that sparked one more thought quickly for me before I go on to others, which is that this conference, more clearly than ever before, established that we are now offering the healthy living and freedom revolution together. We are now officially past the point where we say, well, no, just share the product and the business can come later. Very clearly, throughout this conference, those shackles, those chains, those restrictions have absolutely been taken off. And increasingly, we will be encouraged to, and we will feel more and more comfortable in sharing the product and the business together.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody said we now have 5 things to offer.
5 windows.
5
doors.
windows
Sorry,
or
5
doors
doors.
for prospects. We have fruit,
The Aussies.
we have
Was the
veggies,
Aussies.
we have berries, omega, and we have a business opportunity. So,
Yeah.
Brian was
This is the
leading.
fifth door. Yep, exactly.
okay, let's hear from somebody else.
I was happy. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Melinda.
Oh, sorry, Amanda. I didn't see you talking. So mine are just really quick. In addition to what's already been said, I was really impressed with all of the sharing of the knowledge that the different Brave Leader classes have learned, and a lot of the reflections. And also just that corporate put that together. I'm so impressed that we're aligned with a corporate home office that is really focused on our personal development. And that would be my second thing. I've got tons of notes from all kinds of things, but so many of the talks and so many of the people that we heard, as we've always done, that this business is really fruits and vegetables disguised, but it's really a personal development program. We've heard that from the whole time I've been involved with this, but that seemed to really come home on the NMD speeches. I thought they were very, again, like they were saying, Heather and they were saying about, I really can do this, and they were real people, and they weren't just, faces up there, pretty faces on a stage. They were sharing from the heart, being very vulnerable. But so much emphasis on, look in the mirror and walk the walk, and help people, learn financially and health-wise what we have to offer.
Absolutely. And as always, so many new national marketing directors will tell you that when they were first introduced to Juice Plus, they had absolutely no intention of doing anything with the business. The product simply made sense. So I share that with everybody so that you realize that it can take some patience, some persistence, and some perseverance with your prospects, but give them good customer care, and you may well turn a raving fan into a buddy, shall we say. Amanda, did you have something to offer?
First of all, I apologize. I swear I saw somewhere that this was happening at 7.
Yes, our mistake.
My bad.
Okay, it's not my, okay.
No, it's not you.
I was like, but so I could add a whole bunch of things, and I don't know what's already been said, but what I want to say is, so I've been in this business for 6 years, and I've only missed one conference because I thought that having a 4-month-old would be too difficult. And now I see, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have totally come. But every conference is different. And for many of the conferences, I went all by myself without any team. This conference happened to be because it was here. I had an overwhelming amount of team, and it just was awesome. So for me, the takeaway for this conference was more the time outside of the conference, even though there's just been such a ton of information. But my main takeaway was listening to Danita in the middle of conference, who just lit up and was just, she's on fire. And she was like, NMD is not the goal, it is the reward. And it just, and it's something like last conference in Indianapolis, I came away with, I don't need to keep focusing on promotions and getting to a certain point. I need to start focusing on helping people build qualified businesses, because that way I can help them have an income experience. But for her to say that, and it was like, yeah, that's right. It's not the goal, because it just is the start that you'll hear many NMDs say. But I just, I don't know. It was a fantastic conference, and Lauren Slocum was my favorite. I heard on my team she didn't resonate with everybody, but I really, resonated with her at the end. So.
Yeah. Yep, she gave a powerful wrap up on Saturday. Yes. Awesome.
Thanks,
Great.
Amanda. Somebody else?
I know I already spoke, but when Dr. Janet was talking, it triggered something else that I really took away. And that was the point of what duplication is and what duplication is not. That really stood out to me, that duplication is not doing the exact same thing that somebody else is doing. And instead, it's getting a large number of people to do a few simple things over and over again over a long period of time. And that to me really stood out because, and they talked about the things that you need to do is share your story, share the product, and share the business. And that's it. Like, that's all that we do. And, you can do it any way you want. Be yourself. You don't have to be this charismatic, like, beautiful little thing up on stage. You can be you. And so that really stood out to me. And then, people talking about how you're a blessing, whether you do a little or a lot. So those are two big things that stood out to me again. Sorry, I know I already spoke, but.
Page 2.
No worries. So, yeah, that was great comment, Nicole. And it made me think that one of the clear lessons from the justified and intentional focus on Australians, because there were a bunch of new Aussie NMDs, and one of the messages that came out loud and clear from all of them and from the Australian part of conference was that they have a duplicatable system. They have a conveyor belt system that is absolutely, the wheels of the conveyor belt are the letters ZOOM. They do Zoom events over and over and over and over and over. Australia is a big country. And so they've been able to find a way to make it possible to roll out new national marketing directors in 2 years or less. I don't remember a single new Australian NMD who took more than 2 years to make it. And if anybody can, then it's just my bad memory. But seriously, the Aussies have a system, and we heard it. We heard what it is going to take. We heard it from a wonderful young woman who was a stay-at-home mum who did not want to go out to work, and she was very successful. And from a guy who had been extremely successful in starting and running his own businesses, Brian Marsh, who he and his wife decided this was the best way to bring him home from 80-hour weeks where his kids didn't see him. So the Aussie system is something that we will be studying more and more and copying more and more. But duplication, yeah, it's not being the same as everybody else, but it's following a system that churns out more team members and more successful qualified businesses.
Now, as you know, we try and keep these calls to about 30 minutes. This was a special evening tonight because we have so much to share. I think maybe just a couple more and we will wrap this up. So do we have anybody else who would love to share some highlights, some experiences, some takeaways?
Hey, it's Marie.
Hey, Marie, thanks.
Hi. I would say I just felt like corporate seemed to be working a lot more with the field and listening, and I like how they let the NMDs do their speeches again, because I know they had stepped away from that for a little bit. So that was really nice. I thought it was really cool how they had several people up there and they were like high-fiving everybody that got their promotion, like the sales coordinators, senior sales coordinators. So I thought they got more people involved and more people working together on the stage, so you get like a better picture of who's all involved in having things happen. I liked, like in the book, they had a lot more notes, so it seemed like they had it better planned, what people were talking about. You had the website right there. You had a spot to write the passcode, you know, so like it just seemed more detailed. There was more depth to things. And then yeah, everyone else already mentioned all the things that I was thinking about, like the website, the Freedom Revolution. I already checked that out, and it's like, it seems so simple. It's like so much easier. Like, just send them to this website. It's a 2-minute video. I want to share that with everyone, because it's like, who doesn't have 2 minutes to just watch that? And if they're not interested, that's fine. And then the video they came out with today, just, it has everything. It covers every little thing. So they're like simplifying everything for us. I feel like they're listening to us more, you know, like what we need.
Well, Marie, I especially congratulate you on being there. And I know you've been to a number of conferences, often with a baby in your arms. And this time was no different. So your beautiful little daughter, Elena, was there. And you just proved you can do it. 3 kids at home with daddy. And there you are with a baby in your arms. And grandma to help too. So well done. That's commitment.
Thanks.
Okay, one more.
And it can be someone who wants to say what is one thing that you're going to do as a result of this conference. Anyone?
I'd like to talk.
Tara.
I guess the number one thing that I came out with is a great team member who is as passionate about Juice Plus as I, and not just one, but many. And they may not be directly on my team, but they're sideline buddies that I want to be as enthusiastic as they are. And I guess that's the number one thing that I came out with. And just to make this a whole different change of mindset, quit thinking about things and just go with what's in my heart and not what's in my head. And anyway, yeah, it was great. And the thing I'm going to change is my daily method of operation. So.
Other girl. And you had Chad there with you? And Chad?
You bet. Hey, it was good to be there. I think the biggest takeaway I had was it came from Holly Mills, and that's create a culture and community people want to follow. And I want to be there. Basically, I'm going to try to help Tara get to a point where she's comfortable at the level she wants to be and create that culture.
That's awesome. That is awesome. You two will be unstoppable.
We hope so.
So
it's going to need everyone's help.
My last one is I loved Ricky Prohl's NMD speech. And I'm going to watch that speech over and over. And I'm going to, once we get the official version, because I did post my amateur recording of it in our Facebook group, but I'm going to share that message of Ricky Prohl's over and over. 2 things. Our culture and our values align so well with his family's values. And second, he challenged us to redress the balance or the imbalance. He said, come on, men, we need more men in this business. And you've heard me say this more than once. He's absolutely right. So that's, again, my recommitment to making sure we get more men in the business. So Jason and Chad and Garth, and if I'm missing anybody else, or the men who are on here tonight, you join me in this mission. Let's get some more men in this business, okay?
Nick, I'm on it. I watched that video of yours today again, and I actually watched it twice because I wanted to listen through it again and again, and it's inspiring what he's done, and to leave the NFL and to take on this as his next venture is awesome and inspiring. That not just it's not just for moms. It's not just for women. It's for dads and men too. And we can do this. And I'm going to be right here together doing it every step of the way. And I'm excited. That's what's thrilling to me, is to be part of that.
Yep, I'm thrilled too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Great to see you all. Thank you to those of you who made the effort to join us in Phoenix, and as all of you will have gathered, it was a most wonderful experience. So it's already time to start planning for Tampa, Florida in October. Mick and I have already booked our flights. Can you believe that? We're going to tag on a little vacation afterwards as well.
So watch for Kurt Beaver's webinar, which will give you way more detail on this fabulous conference we just had. And here's a little heads up. Over the next several weeks, whatever we do on Monday nights, we are going to feature at least one person on our team. It doesn't matter how long you've been on our team, but every Monday night, we will feature at least one person sharing your story, sharing your product story, sharing your business story, or sharing both stories, because it came over loud and clear. We must share our stories. And the more often we share our stories, the better we get, and the more comfortable we are, and the more successful we will be. So we will become storytellers and story sharers on Monday nights for the foreseeable future.
We are heading home tomorrow, so we look forward to seeing you at the same time, same place next week.
God bless everybody.
Good night.
Make it an outstanding week.